Viewer discretion is advised. Is the first thing I see here. So I'm a little bit like, is it gonna be? He's gonna smash Jeanne, you know? So last episode she's like, oh, suck my blood, oh yeah, you know. It's very, as in many vampire storylines these days, you know, it's very sexy, right? Vampires, yeah. Or it's gonna be the crazy vampire circus people, and they're gonna murder vampires, so it's gonna be brutal. Episode 1 has some brutal scenes, right? Her nightmarish face. So honestly, I'm excited when I see this viewer warning here, because I don't know where it's gonna go. Is it gonna go, you know, very brutal fight scenes perhaps, someone getting killed, right? Or it's gonna go like very etchy. It's gonna go like, yeah. Let's watch the episode. So 5, 3, 2, 1, go. But honestly, like, I don't know. This anime can go both. Either way, yeah, it's like, it could be that it's gonna be very, very etchy, right? He's gonna be like, oh yeah, let me get some of your blood, yeah. And, you know, it might be that, right? It might be that. Or it might be something... You get my point. So here we go, we have the... Yeah, the charlatan. Pops up off his back, so earlier. This kind of episode ended with Luca, the assassins. You killed my friend. Okay. I killed your friend, something. Ooh, Louise. Very French name. So it remembers its people is taken over something? Yeah, so open now and then. That's the thing, right? It might be completely brutal. It might kill his like childhood friend, right? Then it might be like a berserk murder scene, right? Or it might be a berserk art scene. Who knows? I don't know, this anime. Like, I'm honestly like, why is this episode warned? No, like no other episodes of 4 has been viewer warning, right? So now it's like, I'm afraid though. It probably won't happen, but I'm afraid it's gonna be kind of, how say it, like it's gonna live up to its to the warning, right? You see sometimes with, not with the anime kind of show, right? Where it's like, viewer discretion is advised. Then it's like, that's it. It's like one drip of blood, you know? Who knows? I mean, remember when it's this review was airing, and they were like, oh, we didn't check it out before we aired it. It's like, I guess no one like viewed the anime before they bought it and just put it out there. Yeah, that's like... Or like episode 2 episodes ago with the Tokyo Revengers, when it started immediately with some monies, you know, with the Japanese, the symbol of, immediately you're like, oh, someone forget to watch the episode, yeah. Quality control. That honestly was terrible in Revengers though, because the first like 4 minutes they were showing the monies. It's like the first minute, no one clearly watched the episode. So who knows? Maybe they're very, very like, oh, this is gonna be really gruesome. Or maybe it's not, right? Yeah. Let's see. Oh, it's... Oh, so it's her sister? I mean, obviously Dominique is his fiance, right? So... Okay, so it's the emote of her. And then of course you have... the Oneshan is a foxy one. Yeah. The Fox to Oneshan, of course, that's episode 2, right? So he's made by humans? He's like a human boy? So maybe he has a special... Humans lie to you! Of course she's... Wait. She thinks human eats vampires? I think she's misunderstood how this goes. No, it seems to be pretty friendly. Poor boy, he had very friendly grandmas. Broke him. She broke him. Can't insult his grandma, come on. Nah, I guess that's that. He gets that little kawaii sandwich here. Good. Yeah, gonna hug him back for it. Good, okay. Doesn't help though. Kidnapper? Huh? Man, this is fancy bed, definitely. Man, it's getting all wholesome now. Well, certain this girl is gonna get killed, right? It's gonna be horrible. This Louisa is gonna get brutally murdered. First, it's very wholesome, and then she's probably gonna get, you know, cut into pieces or something. It's gonna be something incredibly brutal, probably, after this thing. This is way too wholesome now, so you get balance it out by being incredibly bloody, right? When it actually happens, clearly. Yes, it's a him. He smacked her there. His was not in the mouth. Yeah, like, get revenge for that line about her grandparents. Okay, teaching him to climb and so on. Yeah, giving him the. They're probably gonna dress him up. Anyway, they're gonna dress him up. Utukunurku style, of course. They are gonna dress him up. He's a cute little boy. Yeah, so Dominique, of course, still his best friend, I guess, kinda, you know, and love interest or something like that. But certainly, sister's gonna get brutally murdered, probably. I think we saw this woman in the other flashback here, right? The blonde woman. Yeah, also, and we saw this church. Definitely. Yeah, this is a church, and they were like, we have to kill her or something. This is a church, and they're like, we gotta murder her. We gotta lynch mob her or something. See, this is way too wholesome. Every day was incredibly fun! The death tax is massive. That is true, he has a special memory power. That's true, he got like a blood vision thing going on. That's true, that's something he has. Which also the bad guy has. The bad guy's like, oh, I've seen you in Louise's eyes, so he's maybe related to the bad guy. Love! It does work. I see myself in your mind. It's like, oh. And what's now then? Is Louise also filled of? Okay, no, sadness. So it's like the PTSD transforming in here. His power is kind of annoying. Yeah, it's the same thing. You see people's like sad memories and shit. It's not that fun. I can feel their pain and suffering. It's not the best power to have, definitely not. It's pretty horrible power. Yeah, I can see Louise tragic past it. Not a good power in a sense. It's like, yeah, I get PTSD by drinking her blood, his blood. Yeah, like. I mean, it was the same thing with the other woman, right? Like her blood, Amelia, he got like a mental breakdown for that moment, right? Yeah, it's like... But I wonder if his past is important then. Because he clearly got a special vampire power and his parents were missing, right? So, yeah, that's like... Oh, here we go, some sad backstory about I'm dead to my family house. What is that there? She was so kawaii back in the days. Men she was just a little moto. She was so kawaii, and now she's all this like aggressive vampire woman, yeah. Oh, sneaking in there, I love it. I almost go here too. Ooh. Nani! Like best friends for life. She's leaving. She wants to be friends. Yeah, I mean, I guess time. I mean, those were bigger, so I guess time has passed. So to some extent, it's not really clear, but years, I guess, right? They lived together for a few years. Yeah, I mean, it's not really clear how long they lived here, but I guess like maybe 3-4 years, given their size. Assuming that vampires grow in human size, basically, no. This anime seems to be, even that the humans, like in this anime, it doesn't seem like humans turn into vampires at all, right? Just that vampires give birth and so on, and I mean, maybe they can, like, you know, make a human vampires, but it doesn't seem like that, right? This is one of those when the vampire is born on the race, right? As we have the course backstory, but I mean, maybe they can still create vampires, right? By, you know, giving them blood and so on, like typically in a lot of vampire stories. He's a horrible sleeper, yeah. Smack again there. Man, he's a very dangerous sleeper, yeah. He smacks you around. So far it's just a very kawaii and wholesome, right? So obviously now half the episode happened. Now it's gonna go freaking probably brutal, right? And he loves the blue moon, as we know. But I guess he's afraid of the evil blue moon. The Vanita moon. Yeah, he's the only one that likes blue moons for some reason. That's kind of strange too. Why is Noedo the only guy? Well, I guess Grandpa also, but most people hate the blue moon, right? Yeah. Maybe it's because he wasn't raised by vampires as a kid. Maybe it's because he was raised by humans, so he didn't learn to like be afraid of blue moon vampires. That could be a thing, right? When you think about it, like he never got like that blue moon. Well, yeah, I guess Louise is obviously cursed. You can't really know that though, given the comment from the short there, but. Grandpa is definitely the weirdo. Do whatever you want, I don't really care. It's like, okay. Ah, yeah, I just wanna observe how you transform. Yeah, it's like, he's like, I just wanna see you turn evil, I just wanna see if you turn into a monster. It's gonna be hilarious. Yeah, he's like, he's definitely kind of mad scientist guy, right? I just wanna see you, you know, turn into like a monster or something. Grandpa clearly just wants to, yeah, see what's gonna happen, right? Oh, he's doing a steak? I guess he's like making a steak here. Like, clearly it's a steak, vampire steak. They haven't thought about that, but I guess it works, right? They haven't really mentioned that, but I am assuming that the vampires are weak against, you know, like a steak, right? It looks like a lot like a typical wooden steak, right? This massive death flag here. It feels like he's gonna tell him to stab him, right? It definitely feels like he's gonna... That Noe's gonna get this steak, and it's gonna be like, you have to kill me if I turn evil, right? It feels like a massive death flag, giving your friend a steak if you're a vampire, and being like, you better stab me if I turn evil. Yeah, this seems like a massive death flag to be like, you better kill me, right, when I go crazy. Definitely sounds like that. It seems like, you know, kind of that classic thing, right? But if I lose myself, you better, you know, defeat me. Where else would a vampire make a steak, right? Good. The maid's talking? Probably about Mina? No, it's the blonde. Yeah, this is what you have in the other backstory, right? Like the one of the other friends is a curse bearer, right? Yeah, this was in the other, yeah, so in the flashback it wasn't Louise turning Well, I don't know, because if had like Grandpa hinted to Louise was like, I mean, yeah, it's like cursed beer, right? And he was like, I want to see what you will do with that, Louise. So, but me, nice. But if it's like also Louise as cursed beer too, like more than one cursed beer, right? I mean, with the comment between Grandpa and. Because Louise is probably cursed too, right? No one can save me! Man. If he had crazy Vanitas, if he had the main character with him, we could fix it. You need the book, right? The book is probably the only way so far to. Yeah. Yeah, because this is the girl. This is what we saw in his like memory, right? When he sucked Amelia's blood, right? When he sucked her blood, he was like getting also a little PTSD of them taking her to church. Like, yeah, like this in here. Taking the blonde girl to the church, yeah. But it seems that Louise is also definitely cursed spirit too, right? Or something. Well, here we go. Maybe she kills them all? And that's the viewer? I guess she's gonna eat her friends? Well, they are alive, so they can't die. But you know, the other people. I mean, it's kind of bloody, but I think it's gonna go to have more blood here. Louise, perhaps? Maybe Grandpa? Whoa. I think it's Louise probably just killed her. Okay, a little more bloody. Yeah, see, I told it Louise. Yeah, call it. He's gonna come and save his sisters, right? I'm gonna kill, gonna save the family, right? Yeah, gonna be a good sibling, right? Oh, no. Louise is gonna turn 2, probably. Ah, here we go, the Charatel. He's threw her head there. Here we go. Well. Maybe Grandpa will save them. I don't see how they were gonna survive otherwise. Yeah, here we go. I feel someone should explain to him what the curse thing. If he's ever, as except no one knows what the curse spirit thing is. And this poor guy, man. Someone should explain to him what the curse spirit thing is. Maybe it worked. No, they'd be the only character who can like control himself by in. Huh. See, this goes back to the stake, right? Yeah, of course. So you got a stake by your best friend, right? Yeah, this goes back to why Louise was making the vampire, slayer weapon. Because he's obviously a curse bearer. Yeah. I mean, it's quite sad, of course. He has to kill his best friend. Oh, that sucks him off. I wonder if his blood is special for them. He can read their brain, right? Basically, sucking people's blood. So I wonder if his blood is special for other vampires to drink, because he obviously has special powers. I mean, like, just throwing it out there. Yeah, you're my best friend. You're my childhood best friend. Whoa! And then the head just flies. Okay, now I feel the viewer session. The head flies, baby. Grandpa? Yeah, probably Grandpa. Like, oh, that was pretty close, yeah. So Grandpa is probably pretty powerful. He's like, oh, he's dead. Whoa. I think Grandpa is one of those like... Wait, what is Grandpa actually? You know, they never really showed Grandpa's face if I think about it. They always just have Grandpa's... Yeah, they always just have Grandpa on the side, right? They always have Grandpa just a little bit like... You see his neck or so on. That's also a way to slay a vampire. You just chop your head off immediately. But I guess he looks differently otherwise. Man, it was more scary seeing how Grandpa looked insanely evil when he showed his true form or something. But that is true, think about that. But they never show, he also his neck, right? They never show Grandpa's like front of his face when he you know, talks so. But yeah, a lot of head flew this episode. He really wanted to die, man. He was like, I got a lot of stakes. You got a stake me in a way, it's my present for you. I mean, he clearly wanted to, you know, get killed by the main character. Well, the main character, him or Vanitas. He clearly wanted to be killed by him. Grandpa commentating the frag there. But yeah, it's obviously pretty brutal. And then the short tail kind of nosy too. Yeah, it's I mean, you knew it when the episode is all super wholesome in the beginning. It has to turn extra dark in the end. Like, you knew it. You knew it's gonna be crazy when it's... But, so this thing kind of like know who died from his curse? That is weird though. Like, you know, what is... yeah. That is strange. Sounds like a similar power though, like to be able to read your mind, right? It's like a bargain it gives you. It's like a deal with the devil. Like some kind of... And it's always very etchy, this anime. Oh yeah. So it's still fine after Jeanne, you know, gave him a... Yeah, it's the blood here, right? But I guess he's, you know, he had a lot of stuff to give to Jeanne, yeah. She needed some man use, and he provided it, right? Doesn't mean he's gonna be out for that reason. Is this no preview? No. Okay, let's go back then to... still no preview. Let's go back to the bloody scene. So Grandpa is like... lot of head flying, and then Grandpa appears and looks very nice and friendly. So now goes back to the Grandpa scene. Or Sensei, that is he call him, but you know, Grandpa for the other ones, they call him Grandpa, right? Yeah, like that was like, I was like, what? So Grandpa looks like a hideous monster or something? I mean, he always has this weird voice and he sounds like a crazy guy. He's like a yellow vampire thing going on, like some... Yeah. He just insta-killed Louise by chopping the head off. Without even touching. He's kind of like a wind attack. I don't know, like he... I mean, it feels like he has some kind of... he always has the yellow thing, yellow feathers right on his shoulder always. And he had like yellow tentacles, so it might be like an invincible kind of, you know, yellow, he controls some kind of yellow energy hands or whatever, right? Kind of like Beetlejuice or something similar to that. But certainly it was more brutal than previous anime. This anime is definitely more brutal than you think it's gonna be, I think. It feels like it's gonna be some kind of a romantic-ish, you know, I don't know, action anime, you know, vampires, but the ecchi scenes are way more visual, right? Like the Kabedon, that was like, whoa, that was, I think, honestly, the best Kabedon in anime, right? Honestly, yeah. You know, when he was smooshed up in, that was a great scene, and I mean, I liked anime before, but that's, again, I think was the best scene so far, because it really made me like the main character. I was like, the main character, finally a main character actually kisses the girl, right? Not just, you know, wannabe Kabedon, actually just smooshed her up, you know, dirty, right? I was like, man, this is a character that feels more real, so I liked it, yeah. But, like, that scene was very, very sexy, right, basically, and this scene was very brutal, so, you know, this anime is really good. When it's a character, yeah, it's a really good anime, and it has a lot of, but I think that one of the makes it good is that it is much more brutal, both on the sexy scale and on the blood scale, right? It actually is much more visual than many other animes. It really is, honestly, I think, in modern animes. But I always say this thing, right? But animes back in the days, like when I was a kid, were way more brutal than they are today. Holy shit, man! There's one thing with like oppa, with, you know, the boobs, right, and so on. But like, it's kind of like if you think about old movies from the 80s or 70s, you had it actually, you kind of had like, oh, here's like if it was something like a Prince of New York, right, with Eddie Murphy, and he leaves this. He's a prince, right? I think in some country, some African country, right? And in the beginning of the movie, you see him in some kind of, you know, like some kind of spa, or kind of like, you know, pool, right? And one of the ladies are topless. It's like just a random, you know, here's some boobs, yeah, like that you don't see in movies anymore, right? It used to be a little more like, here's some boobs, you know, it didn't really matter that much, and, you know, move on, right? I think anime used to be a lot like that more before too. Certainly it was more seinen shows being done as a percentage higher, I think. But I just think anime used to be a little more this anime here, yeah. It's like, okay, they're gonna smooch, right? Or his hair's gonna fly, yeah. I mean, obviously I grew up on Carte and so on, but still, I think that anime used to be a little more, like I said, yeah, I said 2 days ago in my Mother Goddess dormitory review, which is a great anime, that anime has an incredibly fan service anime, but the opening, while it has a lot of oppas in the opening, I think it's surprisingly kind of not, you know, sexy, because look at like something like Green or whatever, like 20 years ago, old harem. Those shows had like, you know, like a naked lady in the opening, right? Those shows were crazy. Look at like Die Buster. You see her oppa, you see her like her free nipple in the opening. So that's like, oh yeah, the older animes, they were more crazy, right? So that's why one reason I like the anime, because it definitely is a lot more, you know, I would say old school visual, right? Which I definitely prefer. I wish more animes went into it. But I mean, in both ways, both in the action way and in the sexy way, right? So that for me is a cool factor, right? Sexy plus action, yeah, cool factor. So that's really powerful. And how can I say? I obviously can't show this thing on on the video, but yeah, the head flies off. I can't show it, of course, not family friendly enough. But yeah, it chopped off the head, so yeah, a lot of blood there. Then he starts puking, kind of like and so on, right? So yeah, it's like, I mean, this I can show, yeah, but the scene before that, it's like, you know, it was a brutal scene. Like his best friend gets murdered in front of him. Well, I guess it wasn't like murdered by the sensei. It was more like, you know, he was cursed already by the charlatan, so it wasn't really sensei's fault, right? But I mean, indirectly gets murdered by, or executed is probably a better word for it, like taken care of by the sensei, right? Something like that. But yeah, that was a good episode, and a really sad episode. Of course, it started though. There's a little bit of a death flag, a little bit of like how I say it. I mean, it was. What can I say? It's a little bit, you know, the kind of classic storytelling, right? Where he starts crying because they're mean to like about grandma. And then it's like, oh, I'm sorry, let's hug, and we love you, and yeah, so it's like, if it's very narrative death flag though, it's like, the first 10 minutes is like, oh, we're best friends, I love you, like my new family, and Dominic is like, I love you always, oh, I wanna hug you, and they sleep, they lay in bed together and they play around and they dress him up in cute skirts, and all this, like, oh yeah, we're best friends for life, you're like my family, I love you too, and like and that whole shit, yeah, like that whole thing goes on, right? Like the first 10 minutes, and they meet all their, friends, the neighbors, and they're friends with them, and yeah, and all that stuff. And then of course it's gonna be like, oh, everyone's gonna die, right? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, that's how it starts. So obviously it's gonna, because it has to balance out that, it has to balance out the wholesomeness to the brutality, right? So like, come on, like we know what's gonna happen, right? It's like, yeah, that wasn't nice, but that was a good episode. And last thing I say here then, this report is that it's like I like the anime too. But I hear how it has an interesting mystery with this weird charlatan clown vampire thing going around, cursing them. It has like an interesting, like it gave like a deal. Like I can send you to Louise, kiss me, and of course it's very sexual, the anime. Let's be honest here, right? Obviously the anime is very like why is the charlatan trying to kiss him for? Like it's more like it's trying to kiss him, right? Not the deal is like, yeah, let's see him with a kiss, right? So of course the anime is always it's very innuendos and very etchy, right? Like, oh, let's kiss, and then we can have this like soul deal or something. So it's like, yeah, so I don't know, it's kind of like I'm the devil, I'm giving you this contract, like a soul contract. I can return your best friend, or I can send it to your best friend or whatever, right? Kiss me, and then we have this like soul deal, but then obviously we lose his soul, but like pay with your soul and I can fix it for you. So is that what he's doing? He's like buying, or she maybe, I don't know. It kind of felt like, not because it's like a guy, but it felt a little bit like they shot to like a female form a little more, and he was covering over him, right? And let's kiss together, like he's trying to seduce him. It went a little into that, but it also could mean, of course, that the charlatan can change gender, like he just has like a obvious turn into the gender is gonna easier seduce you, right? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, if it's to me like he's trying to get a kiss from you, right, to kind of have like a soul deal, so it probably just turns into something you find sexy, right? Like it's just to easier seduce you, right? So that's what I feel. Yeah, it's like a neutral gender in the beginning, then it turns into a woman because he's a man, right? And like trying to counter his desires, something like that. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it is a woman, but I don't know. I felt like it almost turned into a woman, more feminine, right? Like it changed its form to be, trying to seduce him, right? Like, oh, I'm gonna, let me, make myself a little sexier for you, right? Yeah, oh yeah, like, oh, you want me, boy, a little like that, right? And which is fitting for like a demon, some kind of, incubus succubus, right? Trying to use its sex appeal for some effect there. But that was a great episode. It wasn't that brutal though, let's be honest here. I think it definitely was brutal, but it wasn't like, I don't know, like, this anime generally is pretty brutal, so did the new viewers catch the advice? Maybe. It clearly was more brutal than the previous episode, but I guess as I mentioned earlier, I grew up with Berserk and Kitten and so on. It's not like, yeah, I'm an old man, I'm like, oh yeah, and head flying there. I've seen 10 times worse. I'm dead inside. Anyway, subscribe, press the like button, and I'll see you guys with Baccarina, of course, coming up soon, nice, a few minutes now. This episode was amazing. I'm just like Baccarina last week. That was the highlight of me for my last week, right? Such an amazing ending with Katarina getting like, okay, how can she not see this thing now, right? So I am very excited to see how it's gonna go now in Baccarina, see if she finally understands what's happening. But and given that it's Baccarina, who knows? So let's get it shortly coming up from now.